come on back today. Lying down the freeway, I can see the lights of Covina shining on me. Party never do it right on, giving right you see the night. You see, you get the best of me. I said, you see, you get the best of me. You can keep your MTV and Saturday night, give it back to me. This is the best.
And now, live from the town that's the pride of the San Gabriel Valley, it's Quintessential Covina. It's often imitated, but never humiliated. Your hosts tonight, Dave, Cluck, and Marty. Guests. Tonight's guest, Dr. Monty Hemple of Claremont College. Returning tonight, anchor person Margaret Wolf with Covina Newsstand, and ask her about Omaha. Don't miss Jeff's Note tonight with Jeffrey Plummer and Wayne Sakamoto. They're proud of their segments tonight. Segways tonight, Marty. Marty writes pretty bad here, you know. The band tonight, well, they aren't the Blind Dogs, and they aren't the Seeing Eye Dogs, but they are the Hair Lip Dog, the reprise of Mark and Mark plus one. And me, I'm Rob Van Reel. Just how fast can you dial 967-7353? And now here's Dave and Marty.
All right.
Hey.
Boy, oh boy.
Rob.
What an intro.
Thank you. It's Mark and Bird, or Mark and Bird and Mark?
Mark, Bird, and Mark.
Mark, Bird, Mark.
Okay. They're our band tonight.
That's Bird.
Hi, Covina.
Bird. That's the newest
Bird.
member.
Mark. And you are?
Mark.
That
Mark.
by
Okay.
Process of elimination.
My
we
brother,
should be
my
able to
brother
figure that-
Daryl or whatever.
Yeah.
What a band. What a band.
Bert and Mark. Look at that.
There we
Is that
go.
E or,
Quick-
or U?
E.
It's E.
E.
Okay. Well, we'll change that. Once we're back. Hello, Covina.
Hi, Covina.
Welcome to episode 52 of Quintessential Covina. First of all, sad. Gilda Radner. She's
Lost a
gone.
great-
Yeah,
did lose a great
that's the
one.
second original cast member of Saturday Night Live that's gone. It's worse than the Beatles.
That's true.
Yeah. So we wanna make note of that, and there is a small tribute to her later on in the show. Small, not that big. And our guest tonight,
Good guess.
Dr. Monty Hemple, and I met with him earlier today in his office, and it's a nice office. It's pretty well kept. And he's going to be here to discuss the future of the San Gabriel Valley in terms of pollution and traffic,
Growth.
the coming gridlock,
Yes.
and what
The present gridlock, maybe?
the present gridlock, yeah, and what we can do and have to, and must, or whatever
Change our
that
thinking.
word is,
We need
to change our thinking and whatever means are at our fingertips to help stem that, so we can have like a beautiful life. And
Should be some thought-provoking
that's right.
conversation. We, of course, want you to call in with your ideas and your thoughts. That
And aren't
might
we
provoke.
always thought-provoking?
Sometimes.
Probing. Sometimes we're probing.
Could be.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But
Nice new graphics tonight.
nice, yeah, that is. That's a whole different font tonight.
Jim Patrick
Thank you,
is
and
getting
Steve.
creative.
Steve is there at the button. Thank you, Steve.
Switch.
Geez, there was an article in was that today's paper about
Yesterday's.
Yesterday's about gangs in Covina. That's kind of scary. Seems that it's a pretty growing problem. Bigger than I thought.
Well, I don't know. I talked to Chief of Police this morning, John Lentz, and he said gangs really don't exist. There's no such thing as gangs.
Yes,
And it's really just a figment of all of our imaginations.
John said that.
He did. I believe him. I don't.
Well,
I've never seen a gang.
He's never like.
I've never been shot in a drive-by shooting, so I don't think they exist.
Well, hello, caller.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mark Geddes.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
there he is, Mark Geddes. Oh, okay,
It is.
it's his birthday.
One of the
There he
marks.
is.
One of the marks. It's
Guy sounded great. A little higher on the vocals and guitars, though. The drummers stand out, but the vocals and guitars are kind of behind.
My wife, I'm pretty bright.
Okay.
You gotta have one in every family.
which birthday is it?
50 today.
50.
Yeah.
You're looking damn good.
You don't look a day over 45.
Renee.
It's Red Nay. Porcelana, it works wonderful.
Porcelana, yeah. Well, happy birthday. Is it today or?
Yeah, but Today, I didn't want to know.
Oh, well, it's too damn late, isn't it?
Well, birthdays are like weddings and funerals, you know, they're all the same.
Birthdays are
you're
like gangs,
are you
they
at that
don't
point?
exist.
How old are you?
I've been at that point for 10 years now.
31.
31?
Oh,
geez.
now he's real
Nothing to
upset.
worry about. Nothing to worry about. Oh, jeez. Well, how are you? Oh, jeez.
That's it. That's
What do you
it, guys.
think? What do you-
Off the airways.
What do you think of the gang problem?
What?
Our topic tonight, if I can get that L out of my forehead, is
Get the L out of there.
is the gang problem, the imminent gang problem. We're talking about that. What do you think about the gang problem here in Covina?
I think it's terrible of the things that are coming out about all the youth and all the problems, the hostility that they're showing, raising children. I don't know, what we can do to really help them so that they don't
Future
turn
gang
into-
members, yes they are. No, maybe, you never know.
That's what we're trying to prevent.
It's all raising.
So anything interesting happened to you this week?
I went into work Monday and there was a dead mouse in my office.
Wow.
Wow.
Wasn't that a nice surprise?
Yeah, it set off my whole week last week.
Was that your raise?
My right, yeah, I think so.
Compensation comes in all forms.
Yeah. Oh, think of the perks. Yeah. That's nice. Well,
Some people get benefits. Some people get dead mouse. Mice. Mouses?
Mises.
Mice.
Right.
By the way, if anybody notices something different about this sign, what should we give them? They can guess what's different about that sign.
That's going to be tough. I didn't even know. Somebody's just going to guess and they're going to come up with something. But
Well, maybe
we
not.
should give them dinner. At dinner at Marty's house. Anybody who...
That's what Dave said.
Margaret, are you
No.
watching? Are you watching, Margaret?
No, I think she's watching via delayed tape.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a nice. There's the sign. But anyway, well, anything else?
Not really. Just have a good show, and I'm anxious to hear your guest, and
He's a great guest.
that's good.
He doesn't get all drunk and sloppy and mess up the furniture. and
Oh, we've
stuff.
been already drinking peach champagne, so
Huh.
whole bottle gone. one
Mimosa.
down.
Okay.
Little self-made
So
mimosa.
any-
Celebrating Mark's birthday.
Right.
are you?
So
Okay.
talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Say bye.
Oh, say,
Well,
say,
cut them
Okay,
off. Cut them
okay.
off right there, and they're gone. We'd like you to call. We're talking a little bit about the gang problem that seems to be encroaching upon Covina. Covina has been pretty.
Am I not supposed to be showing this can, Dave? You seem concerned about it.
No, I was just wondering. Looks sloppy, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, I never really thought too much about gangs in Covina.
Covina's pretty immune to the gang problem.
Seems to be, but I guess it's really starting to happen a lot in the schools
It's no
here.
fun in LA anymore. It's just the typical thing.
Yeah, let's go to Covina.
Yeah, try to mess
And,
things up for us here. If that doesn't upset you, it should.
I do have one more. Do have one more album. Should we give that away?
Yeah, we should.
Okay. Okay, to the next caller, whoever that might be. See, yeah, I know. Hey, you got to resort to this. We have an autographed.
This camera over here.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
You just never know with Steve.
How you doing, guy?
An autographed House of Freaks album, a collector's item, because they're like going to be big, major stars. Are we going to say anything about the impending thing this week?
Nah.
No? Okay. But we'll give you an autographed House of Freaks album just for calling in, because we're that kind of show.
We're that kind of guys.
We're that kind
We're
of
those
guys.
kinds of guys. Mark, do you want to add something there?
No, I like House of Freaks.
Okay, Mark likes House of Freaks, so there's reason enough to call
And it's
him
his
right now.
birthday and
It's his
everything?
birthday, so be nice.
He's 50 today.
You don't have to kiss his butt or anything, but just be nice.
Leave his,
Oh, yeah, they do.
leave
On
his
the
butt
birthday.
out of this, please. You know.
I'm sorry, my fault.
You know what?
Nope.
We have a cartoon. We have a
We
cartoon.
also have sponsors. Which one's ready?
I don't know. It's one of those things.
Sponsors. Well,
Sponsors?
let's quickly thank our sponsors.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, we really couldn't. We could do what we're doing, but it wouldn't be near as good.
Wouldn't be near as professional or
Fun.
intriguing. I
And
think.
we wouldn't have all the neat stuff to give away.
That's right. Like the House of Freaks album. So
So,
let's thank our sponsors right now, because that's the kind of guys we are. Now.
All of us here at Quintessential Covina would like to thank the following Covina businesses for the use of their products in exchange for promotional consideration. Midnight Impressions at 1005 Foothill Boulevard. 818-969-3774 for their great t-shirts. Covina Cinema, 104 North Citrus Avenue, Covina, 818-915-1301. Private Beach Tanning Salon, 228 North Citrus Avenue, Covina, 818-339-5461. Carl's Jr. on Roland and 2nd Avenue in Covina, famous for their hamburgers, french fries, and much more. Finally, McMurphy's for eating and drinking, 818-915-7726.
Oh, did you see that little thing disappear like that?
I know, because that's the kind of special effect.
Almost a DVE-ish effect. Actually, you know, I bet you could probably put something right in my hands right here, if you tried. Just a little something. Well, you missed there, right there. I'm gonna. It's all gone. Oh,
oh, it's Dave.
Dave Dreyer.
It's Dave Dreyer. I think Monty Hemple knows something about him. So we can talk about that later. So you know, the phones are just ringing off the hook, and we're just not answering them because.
You know, I want to say that Pat and Bill Blank watch the show. They own Private Beach Tanning. But Bill doesn't want Pat to call.
Why?
I don't know. He thinks she'd be embarrassing. But I think Pat should call.
I think Pat should call.
What does everybody else think? Band, I'd like to hear from Band and Rob.
Pat should call.
Pat Blank should really call.
Give us
And
a
drum roll, please.
Thank you, Anton.
Thank you, Anton. Okay, Bert. Pat should call. I think if anybody out there has a good reason why Pat shouldn't call, they should call us right now and state that reason.
Or call Pat and tell Pat to call.
Exactly.
While
you're tanning, let her know that you should call.
So, well, we do have the cartoon.
You want to show it?
I'd like to show that cartoon.
Why don't you show the cartoon, Mark?
But I do want somebody to call because we're lonely guys, and we need somebody to talk to. And that's what this is all about. Community involvement, right, Dave?
Dave and Marty.
Submitted for your approval. 2 guys up on stage doing a TV show. Nobody calls. It's called Dead Air. But we do have that cartoon, I believe. Are we ready with that cartoon? Yeah? Oh, I see. I hear something rolling in, though. So this is this week's edition
of Thwage.
Is it
Thwage? I don't know. I haven't even seen it.
Continuing saga? So here it is for your...
It might be a new continuing saga.
Perusal.
And now, the continuing saga of Doonesbury by G.B. Trudeau.
Hi there, Mr. Butts here.
Hey, Mr. Butts, where's the fire?
I'm off to the House of Smokes, Billy. Won't you and your friends join me?
Oh, wow! Look at all these major brands.
We're smoking now, eh, boys and girls? And don't worry, there's a lot more where these came from. The tobacco industry won't let you down.
Uh-oh, who could that be?
Don't worry, it's a friend. Someone I'd like you to meet. Come in!
Hey, kids! It's Mr. J!
Oh, wow! Where do you know him from?
The streets!
Tune in next time when we continue with Doonesbury by G.B. Trudeau.
So is that one good?
That is a surprise. Completely.
Exciting stuff.
I always look forward to the cartoon every week.
Oh, we're back
because
at the cartoon every week.
The cartoons have gone through an evolving. First it was pretty straight, then it became inside jokes, then it became surrealistic. Now it's
also
just
became pretty damaging.
Yeah, damaging to several relationships. And
hi, is the caller there?
Now it segues right into a phone call. Who's this?
My name's Bob.
Hi, Bob. How's it
going?
Okay, Bob. What's on your mind?
Oh, not much. I just saw you guys begging for a phone call, so I felt pretty sorry.
Isn't it sad?
Did that come across that way?
Were we begging? Did it look like we were begging?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
Just a little?
Did you want a house?
I needed that album. So.
Okay.
Well, you got it.
You got it. Mark that down. What happened to the Mullers today?
I don't know. I think they're out of town or something.
Oh.
None of them could make it.
None of them.
Not a one.
So
Bob.
Yeah.
Gang situation in Covina. What do you think?
What about it?
What do you think?
Exactly.
What do you think?
I haven't seen much of it in Covina. I work in a grocery store in West Covina, and I see a lot of shoplifting and stuff. I don't know if that's
that's gang related.
But
sure it is.
Some do. Some gangs that do exist. The ones that do exist.
Well,
it was my belief earlier that gangs do not exist anywhere in the world. It's all figments of our imagination. But everybody here, especially the band, corrected me, and gangs do exist.
It's all individuals.
It is kind of is that way. It's but now, which store do you work at?
I work at Ralph's.
Oh,
what's
nice.
Glendora Avenue.
That's a very nice store.
Glendora?
Yeah.
Right down by the Fashion Plaza. Not too far down from the Fashion Plaza?
Yeah, just a little bit past it.
Oh, okay. How long have you worked there?
7 years.
Whoa,
in what position?
I'm an assistant grocery manager now.
A grocery man, assistant grocery manager.
Big bucks.
Yeah, and all you can eat.
For living.
It's like working in a salad bar.
Oh, that wasn't funny at all.
Oh, I know.
Did you think that was funny?
It was okay.
Oh, did we get it? All right.
Oh, see,
thank you.
Horn.
Thank you.
So now what?
It's this one.
This camera over here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you feel that is there anything we can do as, what do you think should be done by the authorities or by communities to combat gangs?
I don't know. It's a tough problem. I think.
What would you do if they were at your house right now? Come on.
If they were at my house right
they
now?
might be.
All
we gotta do is make a phone call, man.
Okay.
And they'll be there. They'll be right at your house.
It could be there.
Reach under the bed and get a gun and get as many as I could. I guess.
Gun.
There you go.
Oh,
my feeling, my personal.
There's an NRA reaction.
Yeah, my feeling is you got to, I did talk to the chief of police about that today, and he said yes, they do exist. He didn't tell me they didn't exist. It was a joke, Mark. It was a joke.
Mark thought he was serious.
He thought I was serious. He's all panicky over there.
You're just so good, though.
Oh, what can I say?
Now
was the winter of our discontent. But I think we need to prosecute. That's like crossing prosecution and Watergate. That's what they did to. Never mind, Richard Nixon.
Let's all conjugate.
Yes, exactly. And but we need to prosecute them to the full extent and to the letter of the law.
That's right, by the book.
Can't put up with any crap from these guys. Can I say crap?
You can say crap.
Okay.
You can mean it too.
Oh.
Well, Bob, if that is your real name.
That's it.
Okay. Well, you can come down, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday and pick up that album.
Preferably Monday or Tuesday.
And who was it that won an album last week and didn't pick it up? It's still waiting.
Oh, I'll take that one too.
No. No, Bob. I'm
it's the
afraid
same
you
thing.
won't.
It's the same one.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got two turntables?
He's
going to be a DJ, yeah.
Like that, they get it all scraping back and forth.
It's like, hey, we're the Monkees. All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Hey, no problem.
And thanks for the sympathy call. Really.
We appreciate you accepting our plea.
I wanted to tell you I went to high school with one of your hosts also.
Who's that?
Jeffrey Plummer.
Oh my gosh, Jeff went to high school with everybody.
I know.
I've known him since kindergarten.
Well, I knew him before that.
Oh yeah?
Jeff, you know this guy? Where's Jeff?
Where's Jeff? Jeff's out there doing stuff.
I would also like to say that we have just the best dressed camera operators ever.
We do.
Raji's looking great. Scott's looking great.
Scott
look better dressed than
Scott needs a tie.
But he's got kind of
hip too much chest hair showing.
He's got the chains though. He does have the chains.
Got the chains. Chains. Everything's a song.
Chains around me. Break those chains around my ankles, or something like that.
Well, thanks for calling.
Okay. Well, thanks for talking to me.
No,
okay, Bob.
No problem. That's why we're here.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye.
So, what is? Oh,
one.
You're kidding me.
There's another call. Is that what you mean?
Does that mean 1 minute, or does that mean one call?
We control what goes on in this show.
1 minute.
Hi, who's there?
Hi, this is Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Fine. I'm answering your plea too. I felt bad for you guys.
Well, thank you.
Gosh, this is great.
All we have to do.
I watch it every week.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
What's your favorite show so far?
I like last week's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Xavier.
Xavier, what a character.
Yeah.
When he brought that puppet out, huh?
I know.
That's what did it for me.
The watch. I like the watch with the Raiders helmet on.
I know. I like that one too.
And you really, too bad everybody couldn't see up close and personal that ring. the Super Bowl ring.
Well, at dinner, he showed it when he passed it around, and this was very heavy. It's white gold.
You could kill
with
somebody
3
by
diamonds.
tossing that at somebody.
You know what that ring costs?
Violent, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
It's a possibility.
I mean, if a gang was coming at you, you might be able to use it.
Oh, I know.
Because we are talking about gangs tonight, and one
I
way
know,
to
I can't believe
maybe if
it.
the band could be quiet for 1 minute,
Well,
please.
they're discussing a number, I'll bet.
Look, they're going into they're all trying to do work, last minute work. Isn't that terrible, Lisa?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
How old are you, Lisa?
24.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 26.
Sound about 24.
Oh.
Rob's 24.
Is that good or bad?
It's indifferent. It's just what you are.
Well, I can't believe that there's gangs in Covina.
I haven't experienced any gang related anything.
Well,
What do I
I'm
got?
from New York.
I couldn't tell. Not at all.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you
Really?
from New York at all.
Yeah.
You sound like you're
Are you like from Brooklyn or the Bronx?
My sister, the one with bronchitis.
Oh, okay. The one with bronchitis.
Is she okay now? Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine.
Oh,
That's
good, good. Tell her, give her our best.
I will.
Have her call.
I know she said she was going to call you this week, but she's
But
not home tonight.
oh, okay. Well, I hope you're taping it so she can see it.
But I've seen a lot. I've seen gangs in New York. Believe me,
I
Yeah,
believe
I
you.
bet.
I believe you.
it's pretty bad. So that's why I can't believe Covina has gangs.
So it's sad.
I know.
It's sad, especially when you have kids.
Oh, I
I
know.
mean, it's you know, I mean, when you're a parent, you get some emotions come out that don't happen any other time.
Transparent.
I have a 5-month-old. When you worry about when they start going to school, how it's going to be then.
Yeah. Well, that's one of our concerns right now. I mean, that's what my wife and I are always talking about is, the stuff you hear about that goes on in schools. I mean, it didn't happen when I was, I was a cheerful little kid. Didn't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, but then you hit the 60s and
then I hit.
And it was gone. You were gone after that. You were history, pal. I mean, he was like
You weren't
the
even there.
dredge of
You
society.
weren't even born then.
Were you? I mean, I was a model kid.
Yeah.
I really was. I didn't move.
Oh, you said that 3 minutes ago. What is it? What time is it?
I got 10:23.
Yeah, I know. What's the deal? Why 1 minute?
Rush.
What are you going to?
Give me a
These guys
break.
have
Give me a
plans.
break, okay?
Okay.
God.
So-
Sorry, Lisa.
Sorry,
That's
Lisa.
okay.
Let's- yeah. Anything else?
Oh no, I just want to tell you I like your show.
Thank you.
We like
we really, honest to Buddha, we appreciate that when you call and say we're okay. Thank you.
I watched your the bike race.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah?
was about a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
April 1st.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's when we still had the blind dog band. They're like, who knows?
What's the association with bands and dogs? We had the blind dogs, then we had the seeing eye
Well,
dogs,
see,
and the
these
hairless
guys,
dogs.
these guys don't necessarily want to be known as the hair-lip dog. They, that's what we call them. Mark.
Hairlip dog, because it's Mark and Mark. Mark sounds like a hairlip dog, right, Lisa?
Mark. From New York.
Yeah.
The New York
Yes,
hairlip dog.
Mwok. That would be.
Well, I've been out here for 8 years.
Well,
8 years?
geez,
Can you believe it?
I would love to have heard you 8 years ago.
Well, my whole family talks like this.
Well, let's get them in the studio. let's have them sing "Happy Birthday" to Mark.
Happy birthday
to use.
To use. You
Well,
crazy guy, you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Lisa, it was great to have you call.
Okay.
You take care.
You too.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, we keep
Somebody
getting a
appreciates it.
signal that it's time to go to a break, and we'll be back with Covina Newsstand.
With all the news Covina can stand.
With all the news Covina can stand.
Right after this phone call.
That's coming in here, because that's the kind of guys we are. Hello, caller.
Hello, Marty.
Oh, no way. All right.
It's him.
Gosh, you guys do a great job.
just
really
hear-
enjoy your show.
Just hearing your voice relaxes me. I don't know what
Does it really?
is. Yeah,
It's
it
a
does.
comforting feel comes over
It
the
does. My
bod.
blood pressure just goes down, and I'm just fine.
Well, you guys are doing a fine job.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, I missed the beginning of the show, but I heard you talking about gangs in Covina.
Oh.
This is shocking. What kind of gangs do we have there?
Everybody. Crips, Bloods, what else? Skinheads.
And there's one other one. It's I think Filipino gang.
Our
gang,
Yeah,
Spanky, and everybody.
Spanky.
That could be some dangerous stuff. There.
Crips and Bloods in
Yeah.
Covina? I haven't seen them. Where are they?
I guess they're happening in the schools, and they didn't it say what would they say 1,000 Between West Covina and Covina?
Well, Covina's, I mean, West Covina has something like, they register them by people that have been identified and or arrested. And Covina has just over 100, but West Covina has over 800. West Covina is much more inundated with gangs than
But
Covina.
we know they would, huh? We knew they would.
What do you expect, you know?
But I guess they're just like, you know, walking around everywhere.
You know, now
doing gang things, saying gang things. And
So they're like spreading out from South Central LA into
Pomona. Yeah.
Well, they are. Apparently, a lot of them are moving out from LA. They're getting pushed out. Their territories either being taken over. Maybe it's just the rejects we're getting out here. The ones that ain't tough enough to hang it.
Reject gang members.
Because I remember,
as opposed to the good gang members.
I guess less than a year ago, the
we
police
could
chief,
get the best, but no.
the police chief was on, and he was saying there wasn't any gang problem in Covina.
Well, I mean, yeah, it has happened recently, but there's really not a gang problem in Covina when you look at it.
Things change fast.
But the threat is there, and I think the threat is really present right now. And in order to keep this a gang-free community, what's imperative is education, and not people just saying, "Oh, it'll never happen in Covina," because it started. I mean, there's an incident up at In-N-Out Burger. There's been incidents at schools, at all the Charter Oak and Covina High School. So it's something that we didn't really expect or want, but it's happening. So we can't really close our eyes to it.
The two gangs that are coming out here.
Well, I was totally unfamiliar with this. Could you
read the paper? Okay, jeez.
Well, I didn't see it in the Times. You know,
read the Trib. Read the Trib.
Talking regional
the
here.
Times. Give me a break. How you doing, Larry?
Yeah, I got to get a good quality newspaper. Have there been any sensational incidents that I should know about, or
no? We can't talk about it. Sensational incidents.
Well, we don't want to give them any undue press.
Exactly.
But yeah, they stabbed this guy. It was great. Oh man.
By the way, Aunt Clara's back tonight.
Yes, Aunt Clara is back.
Very nice.
Aunt Clara.
Clara is back.
Raji
There we
will
go,
get a quick
Raji.
shot of
Raji
her.
will get a nice shot of Aunt Clara just for
Larry.
Oh, she's
nice and
really
dark.
well lit, huh?
Is that Clara Bell or?
No, Aunt Clara.
That's Marty's aunt. That's actually Marty's
my
aunt.
wife and I have discussed if we ever have another daughter, she'd like to call her Claire, and I said we could call her Claire if we made her middle name Annette. So you think about that.
Clarinet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, this is great. I've been waiting for that for a long time.
Thank you, Covina. Thank you.
right.
Thank you very much.
That's quite a joke.
So Larry, hey, you do this, okay?
I'm laughing.
You have to reach down, way down. So anything going on with you? Where's your buddy? Come on, where's your buddy?
Still working.
Where's your buddy?
Secret
Who's your
project.
friend? Who's your
Secret
pal?
project.
Well, I strongly encourage you to stay tuned tonight. Dr. Monty Hemple will be with us in just a few minutes to talk about...
we can call him Monty, he said.
Okay. Monty will be here.
Yeah.
Who's Monty?
Just down the hall.
Monty Hemple. Dr. Hemple.
Monty's down the hall?
From Claremont Graduate School.
He's a professor of public policy. He's going to talk about what the future seems to have in store for us and how we as San Gabriel Valleyites have got to... Valians.
San Gabriel Valleyans.
San Gabriel Valleyans have got to start changing the way we think in order to cope with and deal with traffic and smog and an increasing population.
And gangs.
Well, if all these terrible things are happening, maybe we should all move to Canada.
See ya.
No, we all tried that once. We tried that once.
They have gangs
cold
up
up there.
Yes, they have gangs. Canucks.
Canucks, yeah.
They all wear,
hey, dude.
They all wear toques.
Hey.
Yeah, it's the back bacon gangs and stuff. Well, Larry, Lawrence.
You trying to get rid of me?
Yep.
No, I'm not trying. I'm doing it.
We're doing it. But we encourage you to call back later. We want you to call back when.
We didn't even get into China, but all right.
Yeah.
We can get into China later.
We're gonna show some footage of CBS getting kicked off the air here on the news segment too. It'll be exciting.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Would you like
stop
me
it
to
all.
call back later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thanks, Larry.
Okay, and now it is time.
It's time to go to a break and Covina Newsstand with Margaret Wolf, and she's got some good stories.
And
ask her about Omaha.
Yeah. Take away band.
A lot of people think that when you're in love, you don't have to worry about getting AIDS. The fact is, anybody can get AIDS, even those in love. So we've got to prevent it, and that means that we have two choices. No sex at all, or safe sex using a condom. I mean, being in love is great, but let's show some real love and respect for yourself and for your partner. Help prevent AIDS. Safe sex is an act of love. Todos corremos el riesgo de contraer el SIDA, uno los que estamos enamorados, así es que debemos de prevenirlo. Y eso quiere decir que tenemos dos alternativas, no tener relaciones sexuales o usar condones al hacerlo. Digo, es padre estar enamorada, pero el amor real es tener respeto a usted y a su pareja. Las relaciones sexuales con protección son un acto de amor.
Have you lost your head?
That's what I'm trying to avoid, my friend.
But Vince, if we don't belly up to the bullseye, how else can we prove that safety belts save lives?
Oh, it ain't working, Larry. Nobody's listening.
Sure they are. Look at them. They're buckled up.
Hey.
Them too.
So maybe eating all these dashboard hors d'oeuvres is worth it.
For sure.
Hey, let's head back.
Hey, buddy, I didn't know you knew how to drive.
Drive? Drive? Whoa!
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Good evening, Covina. In City Council actions this past week, the Council ruled that Intercommunity Hospital does not have to widen a street and alley in order to build a $4 million doctor's office building near the hospital. Cottage Street in Covina was to be widened in the process of building the doctor's office in efforts to increase parking, but the hospital planners and marketers estimated that widening the street would cost $100,000, which would in turn possibly scrap the project. The construction is scheduled to begin this fall and finish 1 year from then. The new doctor's office would increase medical services to the community. Now, the second annual safety fair began this morning bright and early at 7:30 on the front lawn of the Covina Police Department. Kicking off the fair was a pancake breakfast.
The South Hills Kiwanis Club put on the pancake breakfast. They've done it for us for several years now, and they're our big attraction for tickets. They've sold. Well, each member of the Kiwanis has to buy $25 worth of 25 tickets, and that gets a lot of people out. And they're very good about putting on a nice hot meal for everybody for the first 4 hours of the safety fair. They did an excellent job again today.
Okay, and also there is a fire extinguisher demonstration with the fire department, I believe.
Yeah, we had Marx Brothers Extinguisher Company come out, and they set up out in our arena. There's a demonstration going on real soon about this having fire. They actually set off fires, and they let the audience put them out, and it's kind of exciting to get little kids out there to put out fires and handle live extinguishers.
There's going to be the canine demonstration. Now, they were there last year as well.
The canines are always a hit. They come out, and we have one of our Azusa dogs from the Azusa Police Department come out to help us out, and they're always a big hit for us. And the kids like them. They're very friendly. It's kind of nice to see the dog in action and see how powerful they really are and what a good police tool they are. They're exciting to have around. Plus, they're fun to play with and fun to handle.
Okay, now what you're standing on, or actually leaning against, is well, I guess it's a car.
Well,
what happened to this?
This was a demonstration that the fire department just did for the Jaws of Life. They actually have a tool that they use for getting victims out of their car. And what they did is, this is an old car that Bob Remy Tow brought for us today, and they ripped the door off, pulled up the dash, and ripped the steering wheel off, and cut the top off of the car, and just totally showed us how they can get somebody out of a trapped car, or a trapped person out of a car.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about the fair today. How many years has this been going on, and when did it start?
This is our 14th year. This bill is the 14th annual Police and Fire Safety Fair. Every year the police department and the fire department work together to put this thing on, and we alternate every year of the year. This year it was the police department's turn to do the legwork. Next year the fire department will do the work, and we'll have fun at it. But it's exciting, it's fun, and it's a chance for the citizens to get in, go around our department, take tours, look at the jail, look at the different things going on, and actually just see how we operate and meet us.
Did you have a good turnout today?
It was a very good turnout. It looks like it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,100 to 1,200 people stopping by. A lot of them come by for the breakfast, but stick around for the shows, and this is a good turnout. It's probably one of the best turnouts we had in the last couple of years.
Now, some other booths at the fair included a recruiting facility for the armed services and an earthquake preparedness demonstration. Free blood pressure testing was also provided. The French luggage company is pulling out of Covina after months of dispute with the city council. The company, which is the city's largest employer, has been in Covina for 33 years. The company was under the impression that the city council was going to allow the French company to expand onto the former Cienega Elementary School site. But on October 1st, the day the council was to allow the company to negotiate exclusively for the expansion site, the council decided to offer 2 other companies to negotiate as well to build residences on the site. Earlier today, I spoke with Tom Johnson, the owner of the French company, in a telephone interview. Johnson, who spent nearly $35 million in expansion plans, feels the city council acted in bad faith, but doesn't take a dim view to Covina. He decided to move his company to San Dimas, where he hopes to expand to 700 workers and nearly $50 million in sales. Now, I do have tonight's winning lottery numbers. If you have a pencil, they are 2, 7, 18, 24, 32, 34, and the bonus number is 28. The jackpot for this Saturday is $6 million. And moving on, at Covina Park today, it was the Covina Commandos versus the Pomona office of American Cable Systems. It was a first Eastern District softball game. Our own Dave Cluck played shortstop there, which was probably a good idea, since the Commandos from the Covina office beat Pomona 12-6. And finally, tonight I do have the weather. Overnight, the temperature should drop to 55 degrees. It'll be clear and partly cloudy. Tomorrow and Monday, it'll be cloudy in the morning, but sunny in the afternoon, with the highs in 75 to 85 degrees. And that's going to do it for me tonight. Stay tuned for a conversation with our guest, Monty Hemple. Thank you.
Hey, Charlie, looks like you could use a shoulder to cry on.
There's one in here somewhere.
Vince, what are you doing?
Getting out of the crash dummy business. No way I'm ending up like Charlie there.
But, Vince, how else can we prove safety belts save lives?
We could buckle up.
How many times I gotta tell you, we're dummies. We don't wear safety belts.
Vince, Larry, your number's up.
Could save a life.
No, I'm with you, partner.
Yeah.
Vince, break a leg. A regular comedian.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Every 8 seconds, a home in America is burglarized. Last year in Covina alone, there were 372 reported cases of residential burglary, resulting in over $450,000 in stolen property. Protect your home from burglary. Install deadbolt locks on your doors. Provide adequate exterior lighting. If your neighborhood is not already involved, you can join Neighborhood Watch. If you'd like more information on how you can help safeguard your home against burglaries, call the Crime Prevention Unit of the Covina Police Department. Thank you.
Oh, we weren't sure there.
That's
We got the band sleeping.
Television.
Oh.
Okay, well, we want to welcome Dr. Monty Hemple.
Thank you.
Welcome to QC.
Good to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Somebody's yelling something out there.
So, Dr. Hemple, you're with Claremont Graduate School.
Correct.
How long have you been with them?
Since 1982.
Now, what first got you interested in thinking about the future?
Well, I'm interested in public policy and how it's made, and policies are really statements about the future. They're statements about what kind of society we want to live in. So if you want to think about what policies we need, you want to think about what kind of future as a nation or as a community or as a state we want to enjoy.
So policy being different than a company's policy on refunds or something like that, but more it is what the elected officials and the decision makers feel is what is actually going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not just elected officials. It's a combination of public and private interest. It's a combination of people who work in government, people who work in the media, people who work in all these different areas, all thinking together about what we ought to do in the future to make the place a better one.
Okay. Now, are there opinions along those lines of what we should do? Are there right and wrongs? Are there dissenting views? Or
well, in this region, my own, I guess, research and my own interest have kind of focused on a parallel track. One is that we're primed to become a major center for Pacific Rim trade, and so things look real good economically for Southern California, for the San Gabriel Valley. On the other hand, we're also the smog capital of the world in many people's estimation. We've got traffic gridlock. We've also got all kinds of potential impacts that are really global impacts that are going to affect the way we live here. Things like global climate change from the burning of fossil fuels, from the cutting down of rainforest, which slowly raise the Earth's temperature, but that has real impacts on places even where we're sitting now in terms of tourism, agricultural productivity, saltwater intrusion in the delta, and all kinds of things that could affect California. And so I'm looking at the kind of policies that might make sense to head off some of those problems so that we can enjoy that position, the shift in world trade to Pacific Rim nations.
Okay. Now, of course, the environment's important. I mean, as far as us being a thriving trade area, and if we were to suffer a climate change, do you think that would be a big hindrance on that? Would the environment have that much of an economical impact?
In the short term, no. In a sense, when we're talking about global environmental problems like ozone or CO2, carbon dioxide, you're talking about problems that may take 100 years to really become severe. The changes that we're talking about are very small. It's not like the ocean's going to rise 10 feet in the next 10 years. It's going to take a lot longer than that. But little things like droughts, prolonged droughts, or what happens to the snowpack in the Sierra if you increase the temperature in California a couple degrees. The snowpack goes thousands of feet higher in the mountains, and when that melts, you've got a lot less water in the spring. So those kind of things have ripple effects, and it affects the economy in lots of ways. It affects the economy for commercial fishermen. It affects it for people who are interested in selling real estate in this area because it may get a lot hotter here, for example. There may be less water here. People may want to migrate further north, that kind of thing. In the long term, it could have severe problems. In the short term, the kind of problems that are going to really affect us are smog, traffic congestion, and potentially energy supply interruptions. You know, any one of those things, energy, transportation, or air quality, could really put a major constraint on future growth in this region, not to mention things that we can't control, like earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
They're fun.
Yeah.
I like, Marty doesn't like it. I like earthquakes.
They're fun. Do you see any realistic changes coming? I mean, in terms of, let's just say, about pollution and all, and the cars involved in that. Do you see anything people are really going to work toward that, the general public?
Or the oil companies going to let synthetic fuels and methanol and that kind of stuff happen?
I think we're moving toward something different than the gasoline-powered automobile, but it's going to be a slow transition.
I mean, like what happened, was it 20, 25 years ago with the Chrysler had the turbine? That got buried.
Well, it's a combination of things. You got to have the cost work out right, and most of the new alternatives aren't real attractive in terms of their price tags. There are electric cars, which is something that a student of mine and, well, several students of mine and I have worked on for the past couple of years, looking at whether that might be a solution. Methanol is certainly an important option, particularly for heavy-duty vehicles like buses and things. There are lots of things we can do besides gasoline to improve the air quality out here. You'll see a lot better, and you'll breathe a lot better if we go to something other than gasoline. And maybe over the next 20 years we can do that. The Air Quality Management District has put forth a bold new program to do exactly that, to get more electric and methanol-fueled vehicles on the road. And the problem is that we're all a little bit hesitant, you know, to try something new. I mean, until you see them out there driving and you've had some experience, they've got a track record.
Well, everybody wants a 5-liter Mustang. You know, they're expecting that kind of performance.
Of it too, and I think it's backing. I think it's going back. I don't mean to stress political figures, but I know that when Bush took office and said he really wants to push through the methanol idea, and just somebody in that position making that kind of statement can really make things happen. My stepdad is in the space program at McDonnell Douglas, and he said the best thing that ever happened to the space program was John Kennedy saying, we will be on the moon in the 1960s. Before that, it was like, hey, it'd be nice to be on the moon someday. But until somebody put a definite guideline on it, said, we will do it, whatever it takes.
When this nation puts its mind to something, you know, and there's a consensus, we can do a lot. The problem here is that we still do want that high-performance sports car, and it's a little bit crazy, isn't it? I mean, to have something that'll go 140 miles per hour on a freeway that goes 25?
Yeah, 25, 30 max.
But that's the world we live in, and it's the same problem when I talk about electric vehicles. People look at me and they say, oh, electric vehicles.
Think of a golf cart.
Yeah, a golf cart. That's the image that people have. And I have driven these electric vehicles on the San Bernardino Freeway at 60 miles an hour.
He broke this. You heard it right here. He broke the speed limit.
How long can you sustain it with
that's
batteries they have right now?
One of the problems. The range right now is only about 60 miles on a charge.
So you're talking about just in the general vicinity, going to the mall and back, and
well, it turns out most people don't drive that much more.
You could take care of a commute, though. The average person driving from Covina to LA could easily make their commute.
Go to work, charge it up, and
you come home, you put the thing in the garage, and you plug it in. It really would work like that. You charge it overnight. And the next generation of these vehicles will probably have a 90-mile range. And then we may be able to go to a 150-mile range.
What about solar power, too?
Of course, when they get that cold fusion going.
Yeah, well...
Cal Poly can do it now.
No stopping me.
If cold fusion had come online, well, maybe it still will come online, but it looks a little doubtful. All bets are off.
Yeah.
But if you have that, then electric vehicles come much faster than I think they're going to under the current situation that we're in. Solar-powered cars, you mentioned, probably the best-known example of that is the General Motors Sun Racer.
Oh, gee, is that a cue, guys? We got some slides, that Sun Racer.
Well, the Sun Racer is a solar-powered car. It was a test car. You got to remember, this isn't the kind of thing you're going to run on.
I haven't seen this today. My question was not spurred by this, so I didn't even know.
I didn't tell you what slides we have. We got 3 slides.
Okay. Well, you see the Sun Racer only about less than 4 feet tall. It weighs only about 360 pounds, so it's not the kind of car you're driving out there on the freeway. But they ran this thing across a transcontinental race across Australia, and it beat its nearest competitor by 600 miles. So you get a sense of this is a solar-powered car with just the photovoltaic cells on it, which were produced here in California. It'll run it's about 40 miles per hour, and with the batteries attached, it'll run about over 60 miles per hour.
And then the batteries will recharge themselves.
As it runs, the solar cells are taking that sunshine and converting it into electricity and trickle charging the batteries.
Meet George Jetson.
It's not yet practical for commuters in California.
But it demonstrates the possibilities,
It says that there's something else besides reliance on gasoline.
Well, the internal combustion engine was not practical back in 1860 or something when it was invented.
Still not.
Well, I'll tell you
it
something.
It had its time.
Most people don't know, and that is that the world land speed record in the late 19th century was held by an electric car. And it went over 50 miles per hour. So that we've got a lot to learn about other forms of transportation. And obviously, if we could get people to ride share, if we get people to carpool, we wouldn't have quite as much need for alternative transportation modes. But doesn't seem to be happening despite all the efforts being made.
Why don't we just put up a sign at the entrances of California and say, no more, we're full, sorry, no vacancy. I think that's an issue too. I mean, I say that a lot. I think we're getting extremely crowded here.
Well, that's the irony. All this economic opportunity out here, supposedly, and yet we're choking ourselves in trying to take advantage of it.
Well, Chris Lancaster mentioned when he was on the show that, I said, what's the chances of us ever putting some sort of limit on it? And he said, well, California's too much of an economic power. Okay, how about if we're a little bit less of an economic power but we can breathe? I mean, is it people making that that decision and saying, okay, we've grown as much as we need to grow now. But I mean, you know, with developers and real estate people and multi-million-dollar people with politicians in their back pocket, are those the people that are going to make our decisions and hold our fate?
The decisions are made at the community level that really count on growth, I think. We have to decide as a community. Covina has to decide. Pomona.
Hear that?
Claremont. All these communities have to really think about what is the trade-off between quantity and quality. What's the trade-off between their quality of life and further economic development of the region? And at some point, the two are counterposed to each other. You really can't have further growth and increase quality of life in this area if you're going to stick with the same technologies and the same kind of housing development patterns and all this other stuff. It's just not going to work out.
Well, you see in Covina a lot. I know up on San Jose where one house used to sit, they've torn it down and they built an apartment with 15 units there, where one house used to be, and that's dense population, and that's just crowding everybody out.
Well, part of the problem we have here is that the houses and the jobs are not located in the same place. So you've got this jobs housing imbalance. A lot of the local government and regional government people stress this. And that's a matter for long-term solutions. You can't just relocate people by the tens of thousands.
Well, also I think it would be, I mean, a house in Santa Monica and an equally sizable, on the lot and everything in San Bernardino would probably be a $400,000 difference. But if this person happens to be in the line of work that would keep him on the west side of LA, even though he might not be able to afford it, I mean, there's got to be some sort of balance there between salaries and housing prices and all that.
Well, one of the questions about future growth in this region is going to be whether it's going to be cars or smog or energy or or earthquakes, whether it's going to really be affordability of housing that constrains growth. The real limits to growth in this region may just be there aren't going to be enough houses that are affordable for all those people who want the jobs and the economic opportunity that they think lies out here.
In Walnut, I mean, they're building homes up there, it says starting in the 300,000. And I mean, there's a lot of, they're giving away lottery tickets for this. I mean, because there's not enough homes for the people that want to buy them. And I mean, look at a $3,000 a month mortgage, and it's people obviously rolling over other property they have, but eventually it's got to crash somewhere. Don't laugh at me, caller. Is the caller laughing at me?
Hello, caller. Who's
Hi,
there?
Who's there?
Hello, on the phone. It's you.
Hello.
Hello, who's this?
This is Dale.
Hi, Dale. Where's Chip?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I enjoy watching your guys' show. It's really great.
Well, thank you.
And I just want to say I'm with you guys on this development thing up in the hills. Understanding Glendora that they're trying to stop some of the development. They actually have petitions going around trying to get some of this foothill development down to a mainstay. I know I work over in Burbank, but on my way over there now, they're even building way, way up in the mountains. I mean, when's it all going to stop?
That's filled.
Well, that's a good question. Is it going to stop? Monty, what are your feelings on that? Is it ever going to get to the point where we just say, stop? Is it the communities?
It's gone.
We got to question it.
I think we usually find out too late. I think the realization that an area has been spoiled or that it's too densely developed occurs after it's happened, and then people regret it. And I'm not sure.
Except for the developers and the real estate agents who are multimillionaires at this point, their regrets are that they didn't find better tax write-offs.
It comes back to whether we really want to have a foresight capacity as people who live in the 1990s or soon will live in the 1990s. We're going to have to develop a foresight capacity that says both the quantity of development, the direction of development, and the timing of development has to occur in such a way that we have some control over how it affects the quality of our lives. And that means, again, in my view, it's going to have to be handled at the community level. And it's going to require citizens who keep on their elected officials and remind them that they moved to this area for a particular reason, not just to have the economic opportunity, but to have a home in a neighborhood or in a place where they could enjoy living, breathing the air, not worrying about kids developing lung lesions at, in their early 20s. And that seems to me reason enough to start thinking about developing that foresight capacity. Planning is not a bad word when you're already overdeveloped, in my estimation.
Exactly. Well, what are some of the solutions? I'm sure what you feel you do when you speak and stuff is to try to educate people to think about this. You spark some thought.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think the problem is, because before we get to the solutions have a lot to do with the definition of the problem. Mm-hmm. The problem is that we've got these interlocking slow motion crises. It's not just one thing. There's several things that are happening at once. Global warming is a slow motion crisis. Loss of the ozone layer is a slow motion crisis. And what that means is that we've got to develop some way of treating these things without panic. I mean, everything we react to seems to be a crisis-driven policy. We have to start taking preventive measures. And the things that I think make the most sense early on are getting our energy policy right. If we get our energy policy right, that's going to help with our transportation. It's going to help with our air quality. It's going to certainly help with the CO2 problem, the global warming effect. It helps with the ozone effect. That means using something besides fossil fuels, and doing it in a way that we can still have the kinds of mobility that we seem to demand without sacrificing the air that we breathe to have it.
Okay. It's time for a break.
We're going to take a quick break, change the tape.
This is our Gilda Radner tribute coming up.
So get your questions ready for our guest, Monty Hemple, and we'll be back with more QC right after this. Take it right back.
Or both. Cable theft places an unfair burden on paying customers. If you know someone who is receiving cable service illegally, please call this number. Stay on the good side of the law. Theft of cable service affects us all. Thank you.
Last year, there were 936 traffic accidents in the city of Covina. 323 of them resulted in injuries. The Covina Police Department would like to remind you that with school open again, there'll be an increase in the number of children on our streets traveling to and from school. We urge you to observe all traffic and safety rules while driving through Covina. Let's all work together for our kids' sake.
Hey,
Thank
nice
you.
countdown. No. We're going to have an intro
back.
from the band? Well,
yeah, we're screwing up the band thing here. Welcome back, Covina, to part 2 of QC.
Second half.
Second half, and we're back here with Dr. Hemple. That is the band. They're kind of in the dark. Nothing new about that. But anyway, we're continuing on with solutions to our present and future problems here in the Valley and elsewhere in the global village.
Well, one solution that I find intriguing for this problem of all this carbon dioxide that's going up in the atmosphere from running cars and power plants and so forth, all that burning of fossil fuels, especially coal, produces a lot of this carbon dioxide. And the most interesting solution that's being tried to this problem is to say you can scrub that CO2 that gets up there by planting trees. And so there's a utility in Connecticut that's going to spend $2 million sending it through the International Relief Agency CARE to Guatemala to plant 30 million trees. And they're going to plant all these trees so that they can build a coal-fired power plant. And all of the coal emissions, the CO2 emissions, will end up being balanced by all the trees they plant in Guatemala.
Is this a viable plan?
It actually is, because not only do you help reforest the planet, which is being deforested at a very alarming rate, but you end up helping a developing country that could use a lot of help. So it helps with our foreign assistance planning. It helps the United States in the sense that we can still build some power plants without adding a net addition of pollution. And it seems to me that it's going to help Guatemala in many ways because it helps with the erosion of their hillsides and things when you plant these trees. So it's got a lot of good things. I mean, everybody seems to win in this kind of solution. And instead of doing the old style of regulation whereby you have a certain standard of carbon dioxide that must be met.
Acceptable level. Yeah.
And some agency has to come in and say, you are at the parts per million threshold, or you're below it, or you're just above it. This has the advantage of being creative about solutions. Now, one of the problems you get into is you start planting a lot of trees in Los Angeles, which is what has been proposed in the Los Angeles region. Presumably a lot of those would be planted in the San Gabriel Valley as well. Mayor Bradley has proposed 5 million trees to be planted in the region.
Does he own stock in the company? Oh, I'm just kidding. That was a cheap shot. Cheap shot. That
so
was
far as I know. All of that would be very useful. Although you start looking at these problems and you realize how complex they are. Because, for example, trees produce hydrocarbons. Well, that's a form of pollution. It's not really a bad problem at all unless you've got another pollution problem, which is nitrogen oxides, which we have from all these cars. And when you have all these trees planted in the presence of all this nitrogen oxide from cars and power plants and things, manufacturing processes, you form ozone, which is the worst kind of smog that we have. It's the most serious form of pollution in the Southern California region. And so every time we come up with one thing that looks like a real good solution, we usually find that it creates a problem somewhere else. So it seems like all our solutions create new problems. That's not too bad as long as the new problems created are more interesting or less onerous than the ones that we just left. So
you got to find a balance.
So what is now? Creating ozone is not good.
Ozone is something that has definite measured problems for human health. And so on the basis of studies, public health officials and so forth, that's the most serious pollutant, and that's the thing that the Air Quality Management District is most concerned about decreasing. We're 300% above the federal standard for ozone.
We can't get it to go straight to that hole over the South Pole.
Yeah, it's and this is the other problem. Now this is a good example of how confusing it is, because there's good ozone and there's bad ozone.
Just like that's nature, yeah.
The stuff that we're breathing in Covina is bad ozone. The stuff that's in the stratosphere, way up there, miles up, that's good ozone. That's the stuff that protects us from
There's an actual difference?
I was going to say, because we're getting rid of the ozone layer, we want to produce our own ozone. And,
Unfortunately, we can't trade it. We can't just send the ozone that we've got here at the ground level way up there above the clouds. And so what's happening is we're using all these chlorofluorocarbons. I don't know this technical term, but it's the stuff that you're driving around with in your auto's air conditioner. It's the stuff that the foam in these chairs is made from. It's the stuff that you have in your refrigerators at home.
Freon.
Yeah.
It's a yogurt.
And that stuff gets up in the higher atmosphere and it eats away at that ozone in the high ozone.
The good ozone.
A good ozone. I call a bad ozone bozone. So you can, ozone and bozone.
Good. Nice distinction there.
Yeah, and that allows you to to think that at the same time that we have to reduce ozone here at the ground level, we have to protect the ozone high in our atmosphere.
There is no way to recharge the atmospheric ozone?
Very slowly it will recharge itself. Yeah.
But we need to protect what's there.
Problem is we're creating these holes and we keep eating away at it. And, the thing that people hear about is that it will increase skin cancers and things like that. Well, that's a serious problem. The ultraviolet B radiation that comes from the sun that is filtered by that ozone layer. If you make that layer weaker, more of that radiation gets in. It is something that causes skin cancer. But probably more serious than that effect is what it does to agriculture, plants, forest, that kind of thing.
And that is?
We don't understand that very well yet. That's the problem. We don't know what it's going to do to crops in the San Joaquin Valley, for example. We're not sure what higher doses of ultraviolet B will mean to the future commercial agricultural productivity of this nation or of the world. So part of my concern about these slow motion crises that I call them is that we don't know enough about the consequences to feel very good about letting them continue. We ought to be preventing them just out of prudence, just to be cautious, because we're not sure what it's going to mean. Some people say global warming, sea level rises and all that kind of stuff, melting ice caps, that kind of thing. It's okay because we'll have 50 to 100 years to adapt to it. You know, it's not going to be like a flood that comes in over Los Angeles. But my view is that it's probably better to emphasize prevention than to emphasize adaptation.
Yeah.
It's going to cost a lot less. You know, it's the old pay me now or pay me later bit. And
Pay me more
pay
later.
me later, it's a lot more.
Interest.
Yeah.
Now, are we as a society and as people too used to reacting to crisis? Or are we too reactionary in the way we think and putting out fires, and we're too busy right now to plan for the future? Is that one of the biggest drawbacks in the apathy, or is it just an apathy, or is it just too busy?
I think the problem is we don't react unless it's a crisis. I mean, it has to be described as a crisis. It has to... there are so many things competing for our attention. You know, people tell you you're risking your life in 1,000 different ways every year. You know, everything you eat,
rats,
whatever you touch, it's got some risk associated with it. And so the question is, how do you get people's attention when they live in a society in which risk comes from 1,000 different places every day that they're alive? And their awareness of that.
Too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the hunger and Ethiopia and all these things, and farm aid, which is all, you know, real good causes and that kind of stuff. It's hard to worry about something that, well, it's 20 years down the road. Well, right now we got to save the homeless, and you know, worry about more immediate problems.
The nice thing is, some of the things you can do solve dozens of problems at once. That's why I go back to this business about getting our energy policy right and getting our policies on preserving rainforest and things like that right. Because it turns out that not only does it help developing countries, it helps clean our air, it helps prevent global warming, it helps decrease our reliance, our energy security, if you like, on foreign oil. I mean, all of these things come out of a few policies that would, I think, make the world a better place to live, not just Covina. Covina benefits, the world benefits. And so I'd like to see people take the attitude that we've been coasting through the 80s. We really have. We've just been kind of standing still, kind of letting crises sweep by. And yet there are all these changes in the world which suggest that we could get ready for a new century with a much more proactive, or, if you like, activist kind of thinking about making our own futures. I mean, we can shape it. We don't have to just sit by as passengers on this train that's going to derail. We can prevent
like
it.
San Bernardino.
Yeah.
Well, in a perfect situation, what would be the steps that we would have to take in a perfect, you know, if we were to really get everybody's thinking aligned? What would happen? What would be the steps? What would be the ideal steps? And give us a little scenario of how that would happen.
I think we'd probably start with price signals. When you go to the local gas station and fill up, although it's come up quite a bit in just the last few weeks since the Exxon oil spill. First thing you do is you pay a retail price of gasoline that doesn't include any of the environmental cost of using that gasoline. I helped do a study that showed that the real cost of gasoline in the Los Angeles region ought to be over $2 a gallon if you were trying to pay for all the environmental damage that burning that gallon of gasoline does. So that we don't get good price signals. We're not aware when we buy that gas that there's another cost that we don't pay. The society as a whole pays the cost for that. We pay it through our lungs.
Yeah.
And it's in the way that we transfer that cost from the gasoline pump to the lungs of the children of this region, really. And that, to me, is an unacceptable transfer. So that I would start by saying, let's get a pay-as-you-go society. Let's make sure that if there are identifiable environmental costs of gasoline, that we include them in the price we pay for gasoline. Same thing about if you're going to protect oil fields in the Middle East at billions of dollars of U.S. taxpayer money.
Military.
Yeah. It costs a lot to do that, but we don't pay for it at the pump. We pay out of our other pocket when we send the tax, check to Uncle Sam. The problem with that is that people don't associate them. They don't understand clearly the linkage between their driving and the other problems that it creates. So if we could get the economics right, I think a lot of people would respond without having to do all these other elaborate things through government.
Creating bureaucracy.
Regulation or, mandates to do this or that. Ideally, that's what we should do. I'm just skeptical that we won't, I don't think we'll do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to pay $2.20 a gallon for gasoline, but I know that I probably ought to be, and look at Europe. I mean, they're paying $3 a gallon
we have
in
cheap
places.
gas.
But then again, what it would do is if we were paying $2 about it, $2 for gas, then we would sit up and take notice and say, wait a minute.
Let's think a lot more about where you're going to
really
drive.
do something about it then.
Yeah.
When the effect is, Mark, talking to the microphone now.
But you're paying $2 for gas. Where's that money going? In the fat cat's pockets that's already making good profit, or will you segregate that and actually have some place for it to go?
That's what would have to happen.
I mean, I think if people saw that your money was being broken down and this is where it's going, I don't think there'd be as much of an objection as just fattening up somebody's wallet.
Yeah, the thing about it with me is, just like everything else, there's bureaucracies that just eat up money, and I would just be afraid that if we did add the extra money that would be for the good cause, that they wouldn't see the percentage that they really should be seeing. That's just the American way.
Part of the problem is that we don't have much trust and perhaps not much reason to trust government. Government has made a lot of mistakes, but government isn't some monolith. I mean, government actually is us, right?
We are government.
Yeah. And so
that's where the apathy lies.
Yeah, we have an opportunity to correct things, if you will, through the ballot box and through our own pressure on elected officials.
Like Prop 103.
All kinds of ways to do it, but the issue here is that unless we take some more control, really control for shaping our own future, I think we're going to get the kind of government we deserve, the kind of government that comes with an apathetic voting population that gets away with murder some of the time. And I don't think that there's much reason to have confidence that government will do the courageous thing unless citizens will say, we're not going to desert you if you stand up and do what's right.
That's a tough part.
Even if it's a sacrifice.
Everybody who gets elected is worried about getting reelected and that kind of stuff, and you have a vicious circle. And typically, my feeling is the only time a president can do any real good is when they're a lame duck. Then they can make some change because they're not worried about being reelected. But then there's party pressure.
Well, then he's working on getting the vice president.
Exactly. So it's a situation where I think there should be one term and 1 6-year term or something like that for presidents, and that's it. One chance to get in there. Nobody from their party or from a group of people, the cabinet should all be gone or something like that to add some sort of incentive for people to get out and do well without fear of retribution.
Let me give you an example of where it gets really tough.
1 minute caller.
We've got a requirement for auto manufacturers about how much auto mileage, the gasoline mileage they're going to get, for a new car. And we keep rolling that back. Now, a lot of people in Congress would like to increase that. It's called the corporate average fuel economy standard. But they are afraid to because they don't think they could survive the backlash from Detroit if they just raise it. Right now we have an average of 18.4 miles per gallon in the U.S. auto fleet. There are vehicles out there that get 60, 70 miles per gallon. There's no reason that we should be sitting here with a standard for new cars. The new standard, if you make a car this year, is 26.5 miles per gallon.
Well, my auto shop teacher in high school was a real consumer advocate. He had a great story about that. He said that Senator Kennedy, Teddy, the last living Kennedy, went to
Be careful.
Went to the automakers, this is back in the 70s, and said, okay, these are the new standards for your gas mileage. This is it. You have to do this, just like that. And the chairman of GM said, I'm sorry, we can't do that, sir. That's not within our standards. He said, well, you have to. He said, okay, we'll shut down. That's it. We'll shut down. We're out of business. Millions of people are unemployed. What are they going to do? I mean, they had to rescind it, of course, because they have that kind of influence. They employ millions of people. They do tremendous, they make tremendous contributions to the economy, of course, by just dollars exchanging hands, which stimulates an economy. But they seem to be impervious to any kind of regulation, or they feel that they have. I mean, it's just a matter of everybody not looking at it adversarially, but looking at it together. Like, hey, let's work to this point.
Well, we all want it to be somebody else's problem, but we can't expect our elected officials to do anything bold in terms of resolving these issues if we're not willing as individuals to do them ourselves. Yeah. And that's part of the problem.
Or
we keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, who's there?
Hi, this is Mike.
Hi, Mike.
How you guys doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Thanks for being patient.
No problem. That Dave was really on a roll there.
Yeah, he does that.
I do.
Ask him about earthquakes sometime.
No, I don't know what he was asking, what he was saying, but whatever. Hey, I got a couple of questions. One of them for your guest is he's done all his analysis and everything on the price of gas and what it really should be. On every gallon of gas, does he go ahead and fund that extra dollar or whatever it is to the proper channels in order to help clean up the environment, or did you go ahead and just keep that in his pocket? That's a yes or no question.
Really? You're on the stand.
You did the study. You know where it should go.
Yeah.
You automatically do that?
Of course. No, I would say automatically. It can't go to the oil companies. It's got to go to reducing ozone in
paying the cost of the damage we're doing.
I understand that. He pays, let's say, $1.25 a gallon. Let's just say that. And he estimates that the actual cost of harming the environment and putting it back to what it should be is $2.25.
Is another dollar.
There's a dollar there. What do you do with that dollar, my friend?
That dollar should go to...
No, not what should it do.
Personally.
What do you personally do?
At this point in time.
He was responding to a hypothetical.
He's trying to put you on the spot.
Hypothetical scenario that I presented to him.
Well, let's see if he's putting his money where his mouth is. Do you go ahead and put that dollar voluntarily into the channels that you yourself have done research and know where it should go? Do you automatically fund that money there?
No, I don't.
Very good.
No, I don't send every dollar for every gallon of gas that I buy to the Air Quality Management District, for example.
So you're talking. Okay. Let's think about this 1 second. If gasoline was $2.25, and I'll go ahead and get off the phone after this, and maybe you guys might like to play with this. If gas was $2.25, diesel fuel is going to be more expensive. Airline fuel is going to be more expensive. Solvents, thinners, all these things, in order to reconstruct the environment to what it should be. What do you think that would do to the economy? In other words, clothes you wear, food you buy, everything else. Do you think it would become a world like Europe is, where everything is very expensive, food-wise, clothes-wise, materials-wise? Do you think that would send our economy into a very hard-to-live type of atmosphere? And I'll get off the phone with that. Play with that a while, you guys.
Okay, thanks.
Go out for a long one.
Well, I think the colleague's example of Europe is the best answer to his question. You have a lot of different countries in Europe with many different economic advantages and disadvantages relative to each other. But you've got gasoline prices that are 2, 3, and 4 times what our gasoline prices are. And I would hardly say that the quality of economic life in Europe is depressed as a result of that. In fact, when you look at the ripple effects, and that's what they're called, the ripple effects of gasoline taxes or increases on clothing and solvents and all these other things, they are ripple effects. It does have an impact, but generally it's in the area of 5 cents at the most on a dollar. Now, there are some industries where that would not be the case, where it would be more. It could be as much as 15 or 20 cents increase in their product price. But for the most part, think a little bit about our own experience just in the past 15 years, how we've been on this roller coaster of gasoline prices. We've seen gasoline, from 70 cents to $1.50.
Back to 90.
Depending, yeah.
Now back to $1.50.
And how dramatic did it affect the cost of food and everything else? Well, significant, I will argue, but it certainly didn't put us out of business.
Well, a 50% increase in gas price did not increase grocery bills by 50%, or clothing bills and that kind of stuff.
I would never be in favor of doing this overnight. I mean, you want to phase it in. You'd want to say, you know, every month it goes up 2 cents a gallon at 2 cents increments over 5 years, or whatever it's going to take. But that's a much more realistic way to do it than to say, starting tomorrow, we're going to add $1 to your gasoline price because of the environmental damage that gasoline combustion does.
Well, you'd need plans on what you're going to do with the money and a good situation and bodies to get that going.
See, part of the problem is that I don't send my dollar to the Air Quality Management District because I don't expect other people to do it either, and I don't want to be, if you like, the sucker who tries to take care of the basin's air pollution problem when I don't think anybody else is going to be doing it. And this is the problem. We all make the same assumption, you know. We're going to be free riders, they're called. We get the benefits of clean air whether we pay for it or not. You know, how can you deny me free air if I refuse to pay for clean air? See, I'm going to breathe it here whether I, you know. So if you two decide that you're going to put all your money into cleaning up the air, I'm going to say great, because I'm going to get to breathe it whether I pay a dime or not.
What do you think? Should we?
$10.
I think about 10.
$20 as a start?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So where are you going with this now?
What's the plans?
Well,
do you work with any groups or?
Couple things. One, we've been working with state agencies and regional agencies to try and suggest electric vehicles as something that is time to take a look, a serious look at electric vehicles as something in the next 10 to 20 years as a major transition alternative clean fuel program. This is something that probably follows on with methanol. Okay? Another thing is we're looking at the possibilities for California to respond to carbon dioxide emissions, and we're doing that working with members of the California Energy Commission and some members of the state legislature, with the idea that we will try and identify some of the options that they may want to consider. We don't make recommendations so much as we try and clarify what the options are for dealing with some of these problems, and not just what those options are, but what are the trade-offs? What are you going to give up if you're going to do solution A instead of solution B? What do you gain and what do you lose? Because most of the time you're giving something up to work on one problem instead of another.
Compromises and sacrifices.
Yeah, all kinds of compromises necessary in this. Again, these are complex, these slow-motion crises, as I say, are very complex, and you're not going to solve any of them without making some group in society unhappy. That's my fear, is that we won't find a way to do it without making somebody unhappy.
Do you think that here in Southern California, I know we're just about out of time, but do you think, I just was thinking about this and I wanted to ask you, looking way into the future, do you think by the time we could solve all of our commuting and traffic and air problems, we could be looking at a potentially much less not a commuter list, but a very lower commuter, people via means of mass communication and fiber optic visuals and that kind of stuff, so we could be looking at a lot less people driving around?
Yeah, part of it, some people call this telecommunications as a substitute for business travel. I think there's going to be increasing use of computers and other things, communication devices, so that your home is your office for more and more people. I also think that the jobs and the housing in the future are going to be located closer to each other. I think we'll see less reliance on a commuter culture, if you like, in this area. But I also think that there's a difficult period ahead, and that's the transition period. How we get through the 1990s without essentially falling apart as an economy. Because you look outside on that freeway in morning rush hour, and you see that the average speed has gone from about 38 miles per hour to now about 30 miles per hour, and it's going to 17 miles per hour by the year 2000, if the Southern California Association of Governments and other agencies are correct in their forecast, things are going to get worse before they get better, in other words. Even if you started building new freeways today, it'd take 12, 15 years to get them on, the pavement there.
By the time then
the Foothill Freeway.
Yeah.
The population growth would almost negate what you could do now.
And even if you expand the lanes, there's this thing that economists call latent demand. All those people who would, come out, if you had the new lanes, they'd fill them, though they weren't driving before. So
yeah,
it's
another reason to give up the carpool.
Yeah.
When 12 million people live together, there's going to be problems.
There are. Well, you have fun driving home.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Real good job. Very interesting.
Very informative. Nice to have you.
I hope we get our together.
Yeah.
And do something about what's happening. Because I got kids, I know that, and they're going to pay the price for what we're doing, and that's not fair. So anyway, thank you. And we'll be back in a minute. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Wayne and Jeff on Jeff's Note. So see you later.
QC just gets the best of me. I said, QC just gets the best of me. Bring on the plumber, calling Jeffrey by name. Bring on Wayne, let's all get insane. QC just gets the best of me. I said, QC just gets the best.
These are some Indian friends of mine in the Amazon. Their lives today are in great danger. Their beautiful home in the rainforest is being destroyed by logging, mining and ranching at a rate of 60 football fields a minute. This is the rainforest in 1900. And this is the rainforest today. And this is the rainforest in 30 years if present trends continue. It's all gone. The lungs of the earth destroyed. The forest burns, the planet heats up. The greenhouse effect. Floods, droughts, famines. I'm worried about the world we're leaving our children. If you want to protect the rainforest for the Indians, the wild animals, for yourself and your children, you can help create vast Amazon national parks like in the US by making a donation to the Rainforest Foundation. A few dollars or as much as you can before it's too late. Thank you.
This is Gwen Guthrie. You don't have to have sex, but if you do what the Surgeon General says. Use a condom to help protect yourself against AIDS.
Okay.
This is Jeff, and this is Wayne, almost here in the frame. The first video tonight is by a band called Junkyard. They're a Los Angeles band, and making it big.
Actually, some of the members are from Covina. If they're watching, give us a call. This is your video tonight on the music segment.
So we got a few videos to show here, and after these videos, we'll be back with some information on the videos you just saw, and a bunch of information on upcoming concerts, and little information about a few things that even Joe Frank we saw last night. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Well, Junkyard, I'm sorry. This is your video.
Here's Junkyard.
Some odd music here on QZ TV. That was Stan Ridgway. And now it's time for Jeff's Note with those two insane music men. Jeff and Wayne. Ho!
Hey, thanks a lot, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Hey.
Thanks a lot.
Peace. A little bit of liberty.
Well, we kind of ran a bunch of videos at you at one time to just, we had so much to air tonight, we had to get it out in the open.
Yeah, that was a good series of videos. That last one was Stan Ridgway.
The first one was Junkyard, which we kind of introduced there.
Let's go backwards.
Local LA band.
Okay.
They play a lot at, say, the Coconut Teaser, a few different places. And then second, that was for Michelle, our makeup artist, and
Michelle, that was for you.
Newswoman as well. That was Everything Counts by Depeche Mode.
That was done at the Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl from their
when they sold out
from their
couple summers ago.
Yeah,
right?
they have a movie out now. It's called 101, which shows them traveling across the United States, playing different venues, and that was their final stop. Was the Rose Bowl on a rainy night last year.
Hey, we should give away some Covina theater tickets. We haven't done that.
We have a pair of tickets to the Covina Cinema, and right now is the Three Fugitives are playing there. I noticed.
Oh yeah,
good movie with Martin Short and
that's a good movie.
Nolte.
But no, the trivia question that we'd like to address to you is really on that last video, San Ridgeway. It's a pretty easy question if you know about it. What was the band that he started out some time ago? That's the answer to get
Give
you
us a call
passes.
at 967
7353. That's 967-7353.
First caller through will get a pair of tickets to the Covina Cinema.
Wow!
But you have some friends out there that you wanted to say hi to. Go ahead.
I wanted to
take your glasses off.
Okay.
Show yourself.
I wanted to say hi to my friend Bob, who called earlier. I haven't spoke to him for a while.
The Bobber.
He recently was married, and his new bride's name is Wendy. So I'd like to say hi to Bob and Wendy.
Well, hi, Bob and Wendy.
I hope they're watching right now.
Right. Hey, if you call in
and
right
Bob,
now.
I know you know the answer to that one, so you might as well call in because you've already won an album. So why don't you take Wendy to the movies as well?
Anyways, we need to cover some bases, I guess, in terms of the music scene, in terms of the forthcoming week here. The concert calendar, I guess, for this coming week.
We have a concert calendar, and we like to show you where to spend your entertainment dollars. I know there's a lot of movies coming out, so it's going to be tough to spread your dollars out between the movies and the concerts, but actually started out on Sunday.
Yeah, actually on Sunday, if you don't have tickets already, I believe it's sold out. You could see Steve Fobert and Edie Brickell in the new Bohemians over at the Wiltern Theater down in Los Angeles. And that's tomorrow, in fact.
On Monday the 22nd, the Indigo Girls are playing at the Roxy, which is a good venue.
I hear Michael Stipe might just show up, surprise guest.
Who knows?
And then Tuesday night we got Gentlemen After Dark at the Club Lingerie. They sound like a band that, I don't know, has something to do with ABC.
And on Wednesday the 24th we have Peter Case Band, who Peter Case used to be with the Plimsolls, which was a hot LA band. They broke up. Peter Case went solo, and now he's got a band behind him.
Yes, so this is his new band. Anyways, 100 Days Like This at the Roxy on Thursday and Friday.
Friday, Lions and Ghosts at Bogart's, which is our... well, we have a pick of the week, which isn't on the list.
Oh, yeah.
We have a caller. Hold on, caller, but we have...
I read this from tomorrow's. You guys will get this tomorrow on your porch. But it's from the calendar section from the Times. And there's this group. They're called the Stupids. And Stupids sound like this. They are the Society to Undertake the Preservation of Endangered Dumb Songs. And they have some shows this week in town. One at the Palomino on Monday, and Tuesday at the Backlot Theater, and Thursday at the Central. And this 7-man group performs medleys of dumb songs from the 70s, like, for example, Ben, Afternoon Delight, Indian Reservation, and in the 80s, of course, they do cover tunes of Morning Train, Gloria, and Mr. Roboto.
We're getting signals here.
We're getting signals.
We got a caller here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Bob.
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
What's up?
Do you have the answer to our trivia question?
It wouldn't be Wall of Voodoo, would it?
Hey.
Wall of Voodoo, yes.
This guy's educated. How does he know so much about music?
Because he's an acquaintance of mine. So.
Am I the only one watching this show, or what?
No, but you're the only one with enough musical knowledge at this time of the year.
I just hope that you and your wife are watching.
Oh, we are.
Okay. So you aren't the only one then.
Hi, Wendy.
No.
Hi, Wendy. So, you win a couple passes to the Covina Cinema to be used
you can see
by you and your wife.
All right.
Nick Nolte movie, Three Fugitives. Yeah. Well, we're getting signals like crazy. We got to get into our next video and hand it back over to Dave and Marty, but I'll be talking to you later, Bob, and if you can you can pick up your album and your movie passes at the same time.
All right, thanks a lot.
Hey, God bless you.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good
God
night.
bless Liberty, too.
All right, well, we got our last video by our good friends, the Information Society, who we met in
Yeah,
San Diego.
that was a
about
good
a year
show.
ago.
Yeah.
This is off their album Information Society on
Their debut album.
Reprise Records. This is a new single. It's called Repetition, and we'd like to thank you for sticking around and watching us, and stick around even longer.
In fact, I want to make one announcement. Is Jeff and I are going to be starting our new show probably early June. And
But it's a secret. We can't tell anybody anymore.
But I'm not going to tell you time, date, or name. But we do have a new show coming up. So just stay tuned to QC for more details. So.
And we'd like to thank Dave and Marty for this opportunity again, and stick around for them to wrap everything up.
And we're back with more Quintessential Covina. Now here's Dave and Marty.
Oh, thank you,
Okay,
Rob.
thank
We're
you,
back.
Rob. Thanks.
And we're finishing up. And I came back with my glasses on. I don't usually do that.
I thought they were injured or something.
Wayne hugged me and almost broke
Well,
my
thanks,
glasses.
Jeff and Wayne. And,
Jeff hugged me.
I want to say that this is Wayne's last live QC.
He's going to start sleeping on Saturday.
He and Jeff are on to other projects. Jeff will still be out with us,
As our
but
official music
Wayne
producer.
needs to get some sleep. And so we want
busy
to...
guy.
Yeah, he's a busy guy, and he needs his...
We need to wish
beauty
him well.
rest. So anyway, we want to thank our sponsors again real quick. And then we'll be back to say goodbye, and we'll be going out with the band. So see you on the other side of this.
All of us here at Quintessential Covina would like to thank the following Covina businesses for the use of their products in exchange for promotional consideration. Midnight Impressions at 1005 Foothill Boulevard. 818-969-3774 for their great t-shirts. Covina Cinema, 104 North Citrus Avenue in Covina. 818-915-1301. Private Beach Tanning Salon, 228 North Citrus Avenue in Covina. 818-339-5461. Carl's Jr. on Roland and 2nd Avenue in Covina, famous for their hamburgers, french fries, and much more. Finally, McMurphy's for eating and drinking, 818-915-7726.
And we're back. Hi, Covina. We want to thank Monty Hemple and everybody who helped us here tonight. Wayne and Jeff, good job. And Margaret Wolf, as always.
Rob Van Reel.
And next week, it is not a live show, but it's going to be a taped. It's mostly new, some older stuff, but it'll be a different show. We're giving most of the people off on Memorial Day weekend, so we want to wish you a good Memorial Day. And we will be back the following week with a whole new live show with guests as yet
to be determined.
Unannounced. But it'll be a good one, and we might have a surprise for you. So
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, and we're out here with the Mark and Bert and Mark.
MBM, here they are.
See you later.
Good night.
Hitched a ride on an 18-wheeler, headed for Sweet Home, Alabama. I just got out of prison with a $20 suit and 5 and